Earlier today, I filmed a huge rant, which I'm not going to release. I decided against it while I was editing, so instead we're doing this uncut kind of monologue. But essentially, after the events last night with the 20x, 15x debacle, and then how it went this morning with the lamest and least amount of accountability in an announcement I've ever seen, and terrible compensation, I was just so furious, and I felt really betrayed by the game and the devs. A lot of emotions were in play, and I was just not feeling good. It's been many hours since then. I've calmed down. I want to reflect on what happened and explain the situation to you guys, and then also just talk about a couple other things. But in short, if you missed it yesterday after the update, and we did get an update, and I'll tell you, I don't know when I'll be covering it because I don't know when I want to be covering anything in this game right now. But Fasti is crazy good right now. So a lot of stuff in the update, but this is something hopefully other creators are going to put out content on it, and hopefully I get to it eventually. We'll see. But essentially, there's that update, and then there's one line of text at the bottom of the update. One tiny line of text down here. It says, optimize the description of hero rate-up rules in the special summoning pool. And right after that update, you guys can see it in the video I posted, which we'll get into as well. The typical 15x we're used to seeing, like here's one with Comet and Eris, it said 20x. And you should go watch the video because it didn't just say like here, the way it says Comet and Eris, and this is like text that they typed out. So theoretically there could be a typo and they typed in 20x instead of 15x. It was a full-blown graphic. It was like red, it had depth to it, it was glowing, and it said 20x. It's clearly something they designed and they intended. But now they're saying they didn't intend it right now. So they're saying it was some kind of mistake that they pushed something too early in the patch, and they're saying it was just a visual bug. Moonton, this is the part where I'll address them directly. How are we supposed to know? Many people spent money to buy more summons to take advantage of the 20x. Many people were furious because they felt cheated since they pulled on a 15x and other people were pulling on a 20x. I made a video covering the crazy confusion, and Moonton lost their minds. They were very aggressive with me in messages and told me I had to take my video down. And they said it was my fault for not knowing it was a bug. So they messed up, and I just assumed they did something on purpose. I assumed they couldn't do something so stupid, and then I got ridiculed for not knowing better that no, they just make mistakes all the time, and I should realize it was a glitch, it was a bug. I should at this point be conditioned by them to think, to expect blunders constantly, because that's kind of what it is. It's 2 steps forward and then a shoot yourself in the foot on your way back, right? I saw this, optimize the description. We've had things lost in translation before, and clear as day when you open the summoning portal, there was a brand new shiny graphic that said 20x. So basically, I felt really betrayed because they kind of came at me saying I was popularizing a bug or something when it was literally just apparently a visual glitch that how could I ever know? But not to make it too much about me, the thing that really pushed me over the edge before my giant rant this morning was before I went to sleep, and I was talking to them through the night until like 2:30 a.m. my time. They said, don't worry, we'll make a big announcement and we'll take care of the players. And they've made no announcement on Discord, no announcement on Facebook, no announcement on Reddit, at least not since the last time I checked. This is all we got. It is 2 sentences. I don't really care about the compensations. Like, do I wish you guys got 10,000 diamonds each or 5 ancient summons? Sure, but that's not really the point. I just hate the lack of accountability here. I mean, what is this? So here, this last part's about the compensation, but it's just saying, we apologize for the inconvenience. Some people spent hundreds of dollars on more ancient summons, right? Like, that's not an inconvenience. That's you guys messing up in a big way and really screwing over players. And then they're just calling it a summon display issue. It's clearly more than that, and own up to it. Without a doubt, they have a 20x or some other kind of rate up change in the works. They'd created the graphic, say, hey, this is something you can look forward to. They could have spun it on its head and made it very positive. This is a new, improved rate up system coming, but we're not ready to launch it yet. We so apologize that it snuck out early in the wrong piece of code, and we promise we'll try to make sure this never happens again. But no, they don't do that. They just pretend it's nothing, and it's just a consistent and constant thing. If I can go a little further behind the scenes, I found 2 other pretty glaring game issues or bugs the past 5 days. which I reported directly to them. And they got back to me on both of them and said, those are game features. Those are not bugs. I'm just not understanding how the game works. But this time I was supposed to know that this wasn't a game feature and it was a bug, when this was a lot more reasonable than the other things they're calling features. So very quickly, those two things are, and I'm going to make separate videos on each one of them whenever I get around to wanting to make videos on this stuff. But essentially the interaction between rage regeneration and rage regen attack and attack speed is completely and fundamentally broken. And in my opinion, it undermines a huge portion of the gameplay in Watcher of Realms. So essentially, you get rage regen percentage. This scales up the rage regen that is generated off of basic attacks and being attacked. You can see it directly here. You start with a base value on rage regen basic attack of 10, and then rage regen percentage increases that value by 17%. So 17% of 10 is 1.7. So that brings it up to 11.7. However, fundamentally, it's not working like that. And actually, in fact, if you are faster, it counteracts all of this, and it's just fundamentally broken. They told me that is intended and that is a game feature, not a bug. So that happened a couple days ago. I'll have a video on that. And then the other thing is, with the introduction of Fenris, we discovered that not every crowd control, not every crowd control ability, not every displacement ability or displacement skill, just specifically knockback causes enemy units that are on a timer to have their timer immediately end and for them to come at you immediately. So if you watch my Fenris video, that's where we inadvertently discovered it. Essentially, if you put them on the left side, those units, as soon as you trigger this and he does the knockback, they start coming at you immediately. So I will cover this as well. But that obviously makes him unusable for Gear Raid 3, and they told me that is as intended. Crowd control and displacement effects are supposed to end the timer. However, I tested stun, I tested freeze, I tested vortex. None of them do that. It is just the knockback. So again, it's constantly dealing with internally for me the frustration that is playing a game run by people that are really good at it, but consistently do not own up to their mistakes, and consistently, at least to me behind the scenes, feel like they're pointing their finger at me as if I'm acting in bad faith. So you can tell I'm pissed off, but no longer is this like a huge, crazy, angry rant. I'm just really disappointed, and I've done a lot of self-reflection today. Obviously, not just a huge part of my job or maybe career now, but my life is tied to this game. I wake up, I play Watcher of Realms, I spend my day filming Watcher of Realms, I go to sleep, and in bed I play Watcher of Realms, rinse and repeat for a year and a half now. Fortunately for me, I still do love the game, but this was like a reckoning moment for me because I felt so screwed over and so deceived by the devs with this paltry announcement, with some other rude things I won't mention that were said to me. And I just have to take a moment to evaluate. Not to make this all about myself, but I need to basically reconcile the fact that I've committed myself, at least for the last chunk of my life, the last year and a half, to a game that I have some major, major issues with. So I will reflect upon that. The only other thing you need to know about me is over the next couple of days, I'll try to make some Watcher of Realm content, but I'll only do it if I want to. Maybe I just will post to other games because I'm pissed off. Like I hope you can see it. I'm sincerely like disturbed by what went down in the DMs, and I'm really annoyed. And it's just time and time again. If we go back to the summoning issue with the patterns that we found that led to the biggest compensation in gacha history, we could have all approached that differently. We could have burned this game to the freaking ground. That was like disgusting. That undermined so much of this entire game, but they came out through it. And what have they done since then? 2 good things and then a disaster, and then 2 good things and then something completely laughable, and then one good thing and then the worst communications I've ever seen in a game. And I know some of you will say, oh, but Raid is worse. Oh, but have you ever played an MMO? Oh, have you ever done this? Like, just because you can point to other devs that have disappointed you more, I'm disappointed right now. I haven't played as many games. I'm just severely disappointed, and it's just tough. So to zoom out and not make this about myself any further, and I do apologize. I know a lot of this video has just been about myself, but I kind of had to get this off my chest. I'd love to know what you guys think. I want to stand by the game. I want it to all work out, but it's just time and time again right now, and I'm getting to my wit's end. So I'd love to know how you guys are feeling. Let me know what you guys are excited about. Obviously, I'm not allowed to speak about it because everything's a secret, even though leaks are every corner of Discord you find leaks right now. But I'll tell you, on test server, there are 3 new heroes, which I'm not allowed to cover. But Yeah, they look really cool. And yeah, I don't know. It seems like good content's coming. Are you guys excited enough for that? Or are you kind of like me and you've made, I don't know if this is true of me, but maybe it is. I'm jaded to the point that there's no coming back. We'll see. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Certainly, I promise either later tonight or tomorrow morning, I will release my summons for Praetus because that video is already done and it's hilarious. So definitely check that out. Aside from that, I'll do my best. Who knows? Maybe I end up posting 5 Watcher Realms videos tomorrow, or maybe I don't do any for a while and I just do some other games. Because at the end of the day, this channel is Fastidious. It is not Fastidious : Watcher of Realms, and I'm pissed the hell off. It just feels like this is never ending, and it is time and time and time again. This was not a summon display issue. It wasn't. It was you prepared a new update, but then you put it into this update instead of a future update. You bungled it. People spent money. People hastily wasted all their summons thinking they could strike while the iron was hot. And when this new change came, and now you're saying it was all a farce, that's not our problem. That's your problem. And like, stop pushing it on the players. Stop pushing it on the creators. I just don't know what else to do. It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing to be dedicating a chunk of my life to something that is really good, but also really messy. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you guys so much. If you expected a huge rant, I apologize, but maybe this scratched a little bit of that itch. Share it with your mother if she might like it. Subscribe to the channel if you want, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.